And we are live. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on what time you started watching this episode from our channel, Atheism Without Borders. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about blasphemy laws and what do they mean when it comes to Facebook's terms and conditions specifically, and how Facebook deals with these things, and in general, what does it mean to have freedom of speech on social media in general. Tonight, I am lucky enough to be joined with my good friend, Mr. Fikri Sami, and our dearest of friends, Lady Ruby. Hello to you all. So let's talk about the whole thing about hate speech. So the liberal term, my opening to the whole thing is Western values. When I say Western, I mean the Western Hemisphere. When we say the Western values, we mean freedom of speech, liberalism, freedoms, personal freedoms, all these things, and kind of the mission statement when it comes to the enlightened people is we need to spread the good word of democracy, freedoms, all these things. And what the social media should give us is that venue, that openness to share our values and our ideals, and hopefully let others learn from it, not the other way around. And throughout the episode today, we will show how it is happening the other way around. And so let's start by talking about what is freedom of speech, what do we understand, and what is the legal terminology. What do you guys think? Let's start with Lady Ruby. Freedom of speech, what does it mean to you personally?
Freedom again. I have I don't know. Maybe Fikri, you start, and I will try to.
If you close the microphone will work, you will not have a track. Just keep the microphone. You will not have until you solve the problem.
I can't hear you. Repeating. I'll go out and again come back. I don't understand. Yeah, what's going on?
Okay. We saw
Again, I'm muted. My good friend, Fikri, what do you mean? What does freedom of speech mean to you personally?
Well, obviously, freedom of speech means giving the chance to everybody to express their opinion, to express thoughts freely without pressure. So far, not attacking any person. So we should be free to discuss ideas, to show what's faulty or wrong with them, and criticize them. Everything should be subject to criticism, and we should have freedom without pressures to express our opinions. Freedom for us, unlike religious understand about us, freedom is to think without hesitation, to have a free thinking, and to have a expression of your thoughts, and to be free to choose what you do and what you think of and what you follow in life.
My good friend, we've been getting so many complaints that your voice is also echoing and it keeps breaking up. It's not a background echo; it's just breaking up. Every other letter, every other syllable is going down. So it might be a good idea if you go and do an in and out. Okay. In the meanwhile, I will be talking about hate speech. Okay, so hate speech. The legal term for hate speech. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, well, just to be sure, It sounds so endemic. Is my voice clear? Was it only the issue with my two guests, or am I okay? My good audience, if you can give me a wink, say if I'm okay, if I sound good. Yes, no. Okay, I am okay. So let's talk about hate speech. So the definition of hate speech, according to the Council of Europe, as it says here, hate speech covers many forms of expression which spread, incite, promote, or justify hatred, violence, and discrimination against a person or group of persons for a variety of reasons. And when we say variety of reasons, it can be for sexual orientation, for race, for all kinds of reasons. So that's what is the legal definition of hate speech. Now, most social media networks or forums, they have some sort of a rule that says freedom of hate speech is banned from their platform. Now, we need to identify what kind of normal types of opinions or posts on current social media platforms actually applies to this definition. Is it what we atheists, ex-Muslims say, or what actual mainstream Muslims say or post? Welcome back, my friend Ruby.
Is it better?
Sounds okay.
The sound is okay?
I still echo.
Me too. Let me see let me close everything else.
Okay. If you have your speakers out, if you're not listening through a headphone, then usually that's what it is. Okay, so that's what hate speech means, the legal terminology. That's what it is. Now, what the terms and condition community standard say, what
Excuse me?
Yep.
Yeah. Never mind. It was just testing. Sorry.
Oh, it's still bad. Okay, so Facebook terms and conditions. You may not use our products to do or share anything that breaches terms of our community standards and other terms and policies. What are the community standards when it comes to hate organizations? Hate organization and their leaders and prominent members. What are they? Hate organization is defined as any association of 3 or more people that is organized under a name, sign, or symbol that has an ideology statement or physical action that attack individuals based on characteristics including race, religion affiliation, nationality, ethnicity, gender, sex, sexual orientation, serious disease, or disability. Now, does that sound familiar to you? What do you think, Fikri?
Well, this is perfectly Islam. I'm sorry, but the Quran is full of this. For anybody who knows Arabic, you can read the Quran. You will find all these signs and symbols that are against the call for discrimination about race, religious affiliation, rejection of everything else other than Islam.
Yeah. Well, to be instead of overgeneralizing, let's be slightly a bit more specific. So I will not accuse all 1.5 something billion people of being part of this hate organization. But if we narrow it down slightly, say a certain Facebook group where they will have maybe 60, 70,000 members. And that group is called something similar to, say, uh, Knights of Islam or knighthood, the knighthood assembly of Muslims, and all they do is share links to ex-Muslim groups and incite actions from their group members to go and mass report all these groups. What does that fit this description as a hate organization?
I would say
It does. It does. Absolutely. But funny enough, all what Facebook does is they close ex-Muslim groups when we don't do any of that. So if you criticize an ideology, and the ideology itself, not followers of that ideology, that is not hate speech. If I critique a certain thought or a book or anything, I don't criticize the followers of that thought or the believers of that book. So if we criticize Islam, we don't criticize Muslims. If I criticize Christianity, I'm not criticizing Christians. On the other hand, Muslims attack atheists, not atheism. Rarely it has been seen that they actually objectively start discussing atheism. All they do is atheists. That's what they discuss, nothing else. Shall we give it a go, Ruby?
Is no.
Funny enough, Ruby, I don't hear the echo.
I do. And you know, I also hear the echo from Fikri, but I don't hear it from you.
Fikri's audio is horrible and everybody's complaining about it. Seriously, Fikri, every other syllable is gone. In one word, if it's 3 syllables, we will hear only 2, and the one in the middle is gone.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but looks like the problem is screaming out at the moment. Only your
It's very annoying.
clear.
No, well, yeah, he is annoying, but apart from that, the audio is annoying as well.
But I mean, we can restart using a different tool. Right? I can make Zoom and either and let on your channel.
I would suggest resetting your computer and coming back again. My sound looks okay to the audience. If you can reset, if you can restart your
How is the sound to others? But the problem, I can hear my own voice.
Yeah, that
How
can be
about
annoying.
now? Yeah, I can hear my own voice.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Again, I'll think and come back.
Yeah, give it a go. See how it goes. Okay, so let's talk about, while we wait for our friends, let's discuss what is, when it comes to community standards, Facebook community standards, what does it mean specifically about hate speech? So now we covered hate organization. What does it mean? So hate organization in any association of 3 or more people that the sole purpose of it is to attack individuals based on certain characteristics. So that is a hate group. Now, when we talk about hate speech is banned on Facebook, and we all have our own experiences when it comes to people being banned from Facebook for hate speech. What does it mean? So, hate speech is violent speech that supports violent speech or support in written or visual form, dehumanizing speech or imagery in the form of comparison, generalization. This is really specific. Pay attention to this one. What does hate speech means according to community standards of Facebook? It is dehumanization, speech, or imagery in the form of comparison. So when you say someone, you look like a dog, or a certain group of people look like dogs, comparing them, generalization, or unqualified behavior statements to or about insects, animals that are culturally perceived as intellectually or physically inferior. Filth, bacteria, disease, feces, sexual predators, subhumanity, violent and sexual criminals, other criminals, including but not limited to thieves, bank robbers, uh, or saying all characteristics or quasi protected characteristics are criminals. Statements denying existence. So, to my mind, quoting from the Quran, so there is a verse in Quran comparing a certain people from a certain religious background being descendants of pigs and monkeys. So, according to Facebook community standards, that is hate speech. So nobody should quote that specific verse from Quran because that's hate speech. Something else. When someone says all atheists, so if a hypothetical person, a Muslim woman, would say all atheists support rape or think rape is acceptable. So that's what she accused a billion, 1 billion human beings on Earth, atheists. They think rape is okay. There is no issue in rape. So accusing certain people are sexual predators. This is hate speech. But when you reply to that woman and say, hold on, there is no such thing, nobody said that, give me a name of one atheist that said that, I will get banned for hate speech. And she didn't. And she still exists and she still has her intact account. My account is gone forever, by the way. I had to open a whole new one. So calling someone as a whole group of people as sexual predators, that is hate speech. So what's happening here in this example is the snowflake Facebook, instead of trying to spread the ideals of liberalism, freedom of speech, personal freedoms, what's happening is they are actually adopting Sharia laws. That's what's happening. Ruby, shall we give it a go?
Yes. Again. I can hear my echo. Can you hear my echo?
I
Yes.
don't, but the audience, oh, what's wrong with me then? Why?
I changed browser.
Uh-huh.
I still have this.
Maybe you had some. Can you mute your mic, please? Wasan? Oh, no. Then.
It's extremely today. Sometimes
Hold on, stay where you are. Let me go out and in again.
Yes.
Although I'm the host, I don't know what will happen. So hold tight, everybody. Hold tight.
Okay. Hello.
Now it's working fine. So the
it's
feedback
working
is coming
fine.
from him. He's the culprit.
Apparently, yeah.
Keep him out and let's continue.
Yeah, we caught him.
It was fine after your departure,
Yeah.
Conrad.
Even now it's good.
Now it's
Really?
good.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was all your fault.
It was all my fault.
Yeah.
It was all my fault. I'm so sorry.
It's always your fault.
Okay.
It's always my fault. Our good friend Hassan al-Badri says those rules are so vague and opaque. You can pin anybody on it by being guilty for breaking those community standards.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And by the way, even our good friend Qusay al-Ta'i, he's gone.
Yeah, I
He
heard.
is he is the cutest atheist
Yeah.
on Facebook, YouTube. You call even he calls whenever he says Muhammad, he says peace be upon him. And then now he lost his Facebook account. What is really annoying is all these instances when actual governments, they demand from Facebook, and Facebook are bowing down to them to take down blasphemous materials. And not only that, and this is the really frightening thing, not only that, but they demand Facebook to give them the personal information of the person who uploaded this material. And those people are in
No,
prison now. And we have examples
the
from Pakistan,
the
Afghanistan, and
problem,
Egypt.
yeah, the problem is that anything can be taken as blasphemous. Anything can be interpreted as such with such laws. You have, for instance, Horace TV, Ramadan Gali, and the other, and Sami Tokyo. They're just reading from Al Tabari. I mean, this is a religious book. It's they're just reading it, and they got one of their episodes taken down because it was and they were just reading the text. Now, if something is wrong with the text and you have any objection, then maybe there shouldn't be such a text. Maybe there shouldn't be such a text because the text itself is hate speech.
Yeah.
And the ones that claimed that it was hate speech were Muslims themselves. And this is your book. So why, for instance, when Christians read the Bible, it's okay, but when Muslims read Quran or Tabari or any book from the tradition, they have a pass. It shouldn't be. If you have one rule, it should be, you should be first very precise of what you mean by hate speech. And because there is a delicate balance between the two. You don't want to lose the protection of your right of speech. This is your right. This is your. We all have this right, and and the West should know this more than anyone else. Not only that, and I'm sure that a lot of people in the ones that work on Facebook cannot speak Arabic or do not understand Arabic, and they have Muslims who interpret for them. It's like interpreting whatever, like cherry picking. You interpret it the way you want it. Now, this cannot be. It has to change. This system has to change. Facebook and other social media has given us a way, have given us some tool to at least exchange our ideas. If you keep suppressing our ideas and killing our thoughts at its onset, then you're all what you're doing is giving Islam a pass. And there are a lot of YouTubers and social media Islamists on those social media, and they're spreading hatred, real hatred, and you cannot stop them. And actually you're encouraging them by quietening the other side.
If I may comment on that, the problem is there are lots of verses in the Quran that are insulting, that are degrading, as our friend Wissam mentioned already. And when we talk about them, for Muslims, any criticism, any kind of criticism to the text, to the Quran, is an insult, because for them, the religion in general, the Quran particularly, is above criticism. You may not criticize it because it's the word of God. So this means anything you say, that if you say this is degrading, this is an insult, this actually what we say, we cite the verse and we say this doesn't seem to be a word of God, because it doesn't suit a God to talk like this. And they take it as it is the word of God, and if you criticize it, you are insulting God. Now, the problem is that when they report any comment we give, obviously the report goes to the support team in Facebook that speaks Arabic. And we know that most Arabs are Muslims, and they are biased. And so they obviously take their side. So whatever we say to criticize, to emphasize, to show that these are verses that are insulting and degrading and not cannot be the word of God, they take it as an insult. The support team in Facebook consider it as an insult, and they ban our accounts, and they either they cancel the account completely, as they did several times to my account in the past, even though I never spoke any word of insult, neither to God neither to Allah nor to Muhammad or any of the personalities. I just criticized ideas and the thoughts that are expressed in the Quran. But I was banned several times, and I had to recreate a new account. And the least that could happen is to block me from commenting for a month or 2 or 3, and being forced to read and hear all the insults about atheists, and how they allow all kinds of obscene acts and crimes. And I have to stay silent because I'm blocked, and I cannot express myself, and I cannot deny it, and I cannot say anything against it. This is absolutely unfair, and this has to change. But the question is how to change this. If, as long as the support team are Arabs and mostly Muslims, what do you guys suggest that could be done by Facebook that could
I personally have changed my mind about that. I used to have, like you, had that hypothesis that whoever's going to review those reports or put some input to the algorithm to highlight hate speech, they are Muslims. It's in Arabic, so they speak Arabic. Most likely they are Muslims. So the system is biased. I had that hypothesis until a few days ago. A few days ago, this came out on Netflix. So it's a parody movie called The First Temptation of Christ, showing that's Christ, and this is his boyfriend, I think. He's gay. So there was a huge hullabaloo on globally. I think Brazil was the first country to ban the movie and officially ask Netflix to take it down from being streamed in Brazil. And a couple of days ago, a superior judge lifted that ban because it's against freedom of speech. But so many people had complained it had to be taken down from Brazil's. And Brazil, obviously, most of Latin America are Catholics.
Catholics, yeah.
But the thing is, I've seen quite a few clips on Facebook of American Christians complaining, feeling really badly about it, and complaining that this thing exists. And one of them said, I bet you can never do such a thing on Netflix showing Muhammad as gay. I dare you to do something like that. So here's the thing. Nobody can do that, can they? Because the backlash would be severe. And by severe, I mean a few hundred people dying, a couple of embassies being burnt down, and a few TV stations being blown up. So that would be the reaction. Terrorism, pure and simple, being mob rule, people demonstrating on the streets, or actual premeditated criminal act, which is terrorism.
Yeah.
So what's happening is terrorism is winning, my friends. Pure and simple.
Very unfortunate. That's really very unfortunate.
You see,
Terrorism is winning.
the problem is that if we want to compare the two, Christianity has come a long way. I mean, they right now, people, Christians, Buddhists, they can say whatever they want about, or anybody can say anything about Buddhism, Christianity, and nobody would win, would not even care. The problem with Islam, it has never been criticized before. Whoever was criticized before was taken care of, was terminated.
Yeah.
And the history. Nowadays, with the social media, even before the social media, if you remember just the cartoonist on the Danish cartoonist, when they had those cartoons, there's a lot of embassy fires and a lot of terrorism went around, and a lot of Muslims were protesting. So, but if you compare that, what happened, the reaction to the cartoonist at that time, and what's happening today with a lot of atheists, which were ex-Muslims, and now coming out, the reaction is not as much. So what are the social media doing? What are you doing? What we're achieved so far is that make this something that they can accept. Slowly they will get to the point to accept criticism. It's a good way to have a discussion both ways, a debate between the two. But what the social media is doing, if you're suppressing one thought and you are given a pass to the other, you're returning to even before the Danish cartoonist, because this is actually what's happening. So yes, we need their support. We need the social media support. Not even Facebook, even YouTube. YouTube have stopped a lot of channels, and I cannot understand. Is it the fear? Did they terrorize them? I mean, emotionally terrorize them, or intellectually terrorize these people, or are they in some way getting more money or some type of reward by doing this? What you're doing, what the social media is doing now, it's taken us years back, even before the internet.
Let's hear it from Hassan al-Badri, because Hassan has been taken down on Facebook multiple times, and YouTube channel has been taken down quite a few times.
Greetings to all of you guys. Greetings to all of you. Habaib. Yeah, my Facebook got reported for impersonating identity for 21 times and got closed 21 times. So it's almost a world record. And in the end, I actually managed to message the directors, let's say, of Facebook, but in English. And I got also a reply from an Arabic lady. Her name is Nadia, but she is the CEO of the Arabic Facebook. And she said, yeah, we are sorry for the inconvenience, and it will never happen again. And she kept her word, actually. It never happened again after that. So I guess...
Give me your email, please.
Yeah, so I guess that worked. But YouTube, yeah, I got multiple times reports on videos. And it's always that I am preaching hate speech. Preaching or glorifying hate speech against a person or a group of people. It's always that kind of copy strike or that kind of claim, which is weird. Also, I always say in my videos, we want to live together, guys. Come on. It's really weird. But anyway,
I like hundreds of thousands of people seeing your videos, and not once I remember that you saying that all Muslims are so and so, which is based on. So you've never said animals, you've never said all Muslims. You talk about Islam or a specific person when you discuss your videos. You
I even
actually
specify. I even said it multiple times. Even atheist, if an atheist says that all Muslims are terrorists, he's wrong or she's wrong. I even said that in my videos multiple times. I said it's wrong to generalize against a whole nation, let's say, or a whole religion or people of religion, let's say, of certain religion. But yeah, I mean, it happens. What can we do? But YouTube is biased. Facebook is biased because there are certain people who, like, for example, on YouTube, who have millions and millions subscribers, but they can't get away with hate speech easily. If you say on YouTube, is actually if you say the N word, the NIGGER, if you say the N word, you get banned right away.
Yeah.
But many people actually say it on videos, but they have multiple millions. So when I say multiple millions, like above 10 millions or 20 million subscribers, so they bring a good income to YouTube, and YouTube says nothing against that.
And that is the actual point that our friend Shadi Khallouf said in the comments, that YouTube and Facebook, they want the revenue. So majority of the revenue come from people who are watching, subscribing, all these things, and most of them are devout religious people. They don't want to piss them off.
I think it's a mixture of it's a mixture of those, like, people who are responsible for Facebook and YouTube and even Twitter. They're more on the, maybe Ruby's gonna disagree, but they're more on the lefty side. So they're more on the snowflake side, the bad lefties. I call them. There are good lefties and there are bad lefties, and they are on the bad lefty side, and they are too sensitive. And plus, they have a mixture of other religions are abusing the system. They are using that system actually to implement their ideas. So it's a mixture of both, and there is the money factor, of course. Money controls everything. So that's it, I guess. But what can we do? At least we should be happy.
This is my personal experience with Twitter. Trump tweeted something a couple of weeks ago asking the Iraqis to go against Iran or something. So he just wanted to push Iraqis against Iran. So that was my reply to him at the time. I said, and those millions are telling you, he was talking to the millions of Iraqis. And I said, and those millions are telling you to fuck right off and take your fight with Iran somewhere else. You whiny little cunt. Actually, you have neither the warmth or the depth to be a cunt. A whiny little bitch is more appropriate. Twitter banned me. They muted my account and forced me to remove this tweet before I'm allowed to serve my punishment, which was 12-hour ban. So until I clicked remove, only then I was allowed to go back and use Twitter.
That sounds fair.
You know, every time Bill Maher comes, has his show. Every time he comes and Trump is mentioned, he goes whining little bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I use it.
He says it. Now, how come HBO doesn't do anything about that? And how come it's okay with HBO and it's not okay with YouTube or with Twitter or other social media?
No, there is. I don't know about your previous comment, Wissam, but there is an obvious bias by at least from my experience, by Facebook support team for Muslims. One of the things I keep repeating, there is a guy who keeps bullying us on YouTube, and then he created an account in Facebook. He called himself Shadi Fikri, the first name of Shadi and the first name of me. And he has nothing in his account. He's just the name and no picture and nothing else. And very obviously, it's a fake account. And I reported him, and I told many of my friends to report him. And we all got the reply from Facebook that it doesn't go against any community standards. So this means fake accounts are okay. but they're okay only if they are Muslims.
The problem with Facebook, even if an account using your own profile picture, like your real profile picture,
Yeah.
they cannot close it. That's what happened to Safa. What's his name? The Iraqi guy, the political activist.
The one who got killed a couple of months ago, early days.
No. He's still on Facebook. Safa, who lives also in England, I think.
Mm.
Who made semi-debate with Ghaith Tamimi.
Okay. Now I know him. You see, a couple of years ago, there was a clear option when we can report a profile, and the option was there. And when you say fake name, now that fake name option is gone, because for a period of, let's say, 3 months, every week I used to find 3 accounts with my picture, my name, everything, even my description, where I work, all that. And it's very clearly, very easy. I report it, it will go away in a couple hours. But now that option doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, Safa got an account of another guy with different name though and different information, but the same picture, same profile picture. It's literally like the passport photo is really the same profile picture, and he reported it, and Facebook didn't do anything about it.
Pictures is different. When it comes to pictures, is different. There is another form you have to fill in because it's copyright. So if it's your photo, be it your face photo or a photo that you've taken with your phone, your camera, or whatever, you own the copyright. And then when you fill in that form, you have to give your exact name, your real email address, all these things. And then an email will be sent to that person telling them, take it down, or we will take it down, because so-and-so of this address had complained and they own the rights. Exposing you with all your personal information to that person.
By the way, this is what happened at the beginning from summer 2014. I used to avoid putting my face, my real face, my picture. I used to put Jack Nicholson. Everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
And I was reported and banned a couple of times because of that. And I wrote to Facebook a detailed explanation that, hey guys, I'm an atheist. An atheist by Islam could be killed. And I have received threats. Somebody even from Egypt, he said, I will get you no matter where you are, and I will kill you. And I got scared, and I have not published. I had my name, but I didn't publish my picture. At least he couldn't find me. And I explained to Facebook, and I said, listen, I understand if you require my identity, I can send you a photocopy of my identity so you know this guy is this. He put a different picture, but you know, between me and Facebook, you know who I am. But publicly, I cannot put my picture because I might be killed. And they didn't seem to understand. It happened several times until it seems that finally they started to understand by many cases. Or I asked also many of my friends from the same group to say the same thing, to explain that we atheists don't dare, or many of us don't dare, to put our real pictures and even our real names, many of us, especially if we live in Arabic countries, because we can be subject to violence.
So the other issue here is, let's go back to the whole concept of blasphemy laws on social media. Terrorism is winning. Pure and simple, that is what's happening now. Yeah. Liberalism, personal freedoms, freedom of speech, when it comes to snowflake lefties, it's not happening anymore. When it comes to the clash between ex-Muslims and Muslims, ex-Christians and Christians, it's not as bad. But when it comes to Muslims, because there's 1.5 billion of them, most of them in semi-English speaking countries like India, Pakistan. By the way, the second largest population of Muslims in a country is India, and the largest is Pakistan. the combination of all Arab speakers is less than, I think, 30% of Muslims in the world. So Arabs, it's not a big deal. Let's talk in English. Here's the thing. They are winning. And they are winning simply because the threat of terrorism is credible.
Yeah.
The threat of physical violence is credible. It can happen. It has happened. People have seen it. Embassies has been burnt down because of it.
Yeah.
So what can we do to tell these snowflakes stop being snowflakes and grow a pair? If I am an ex-Muslim and I am showing my face on freaking YouTube, so why don't you grow a pair and stand up to them? And by you, I mean Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Grow a pair. Stand up. If we're doing it, why can't you? What do you think, guys? Ruby.
I think the best way is to do what the ladies did from the Gamergate. I think, what's her name? Anna Sarkeesian or something like that. There was a Canadian lady, an American lady. There were a bunch of ladies. They were also getting harassed by guys, and also death threats, like, I will find you, I will kill you, I will rape you, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere. And actually they made an appeal to the UN, simply. And then it worked. Then those rules, those harsh rules, implemented, on Twitter, on Facebook too. So I guess that's the only option, basically. Otherwise, it's not going to work while we try to approach Facebook or approach the directory of YouTube. YouTube is really annoying. Like YouTube, even the biggest YouTubers, those who have millions and 100 millions, and even those are complaining that there is always a robotic answer. There is always a bot. They're using a bot as an answer. There is no personal interaction with YouTube. That's really annoying. You can't. At least Facebook, there is some personal interaction. There is a person who actually really replies to you. But YouTube is always, they're using bots. They're using the robots with the robotic answer. And sometimes it's really annoying. Like, for example, my previous channel, I told them, like, please tell me. I said, okay, you say I'm guilty for preaching and glorifying hate speech, but please tell me, at least tell me this, which video and which second, which minute in it I was committing a mistake, I was guilty of.
No.
The same robotic answer. You've been found guilty of preaching and glorifying hate speech. And I really replied to them 10 times, and I get 10 times the same answer. Finally, I gave up. I thought, like, this is...
It's so frustrating, really.
Yeah, this is no use. I gave up. But what the ladies did, actually, the ladies from Gamergate, a couple of years ago, I think 2014, something like that, they approached the UN, and the UN actually implemented the rules on Twitter and on Facebook. They took them seriously. Only then they took them seriously.
I don't think I can afford going to the UN to do this. What I've done is I went to my local MP, my member of parliament, my representative.
Yes.
And since then, I've been having correspondences with him. What are my rights? What would the government do? Allegedly, there was a white paper being circulated around ensuring the rights of freedom of speech on social media in Britain and Northern Ireland. But because of election, it's got delayed and all that. But just me talking to my MP is not enough. We need to escalate it further. So people around the world need to talk. I basically lied to him and said at least 7 more people are going to be talking to their MPs around England. That was BS. Nobody did. But not only in Britain, but around the world, if you talk to your MP, your congressman, congresswoman, that might escalate things and get it into the general media. If more people talk about it. I started the hashtag FB Blasphemy laws. That didn't take off. Not many people retweeted it.
That takes a lot of time until you get something.
Yeah, Ruby, what are your experience? What do you think we should do?
I have no idea. Anything that we can do, more, maybe the ideas you mentioned, or even more of these shows or those episodes on online. Other people should jump in also to talk about this situation, because there has to be something that should be done. But I cannot think of anything but going to UN. I think that's a good idea. I don't think, personally, I don't think going to your MP will help. But
Excuse me, I think going to UN would help only if your case is in the media. As long as you are one of millions, nobody cares.
it does concern a big, like we're not, actually, it should be to safeguard the minorities' right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's against the law. We have to see some person who knows the law, of at international law, maybe. I have no idea, but we can find someone who can see the breach in those in the wording, maybe even, or even how they audit, people who speak in the social media. So I have no idea, but I'm thinking maybe more people should come out and talk about it. I see a lot of people complaining, and a lot of people also complaining in Arabic, which it's okay for Arabic speaking people, which they will never take any action, but I haven't seen anybody talking about it in English. So I'm confused. I don't know. They either don't know what's going on, and they're depending on their Arabic speaking Muslims to audit these videos and speeches, or as you said, it's something, they're getting some money out of that, with the revenues or something, with the ads that that some parties are paying for. So I have no idea, but what I think, that would be a good idea. UN will be a good idea, and maybe we can write a petition. Maybe we all can write a petition and sign it all and send it to UN some way.
I guess we could do that, but it's gonna take time. I mean, I thought of a couple of ideas. One of them is to go through a political party, even though I'm not a member of any, but we could do that theoretically, at least. And they
in Sweden,
have
there's the Hackers Party. In Sweden, Hackers Party.
Sorry?
In Sweden, I think somewhere in Scandinavia.
In Sweden.
Hassan, correct me if I'm wrong. There is a party, that Freedom of Information Party. They're mostly hackers.
Yes, true.
Yes.
It's true. They do exist. In Sweden, it's really easy to make a political party. You just have to collect 1,000 signatures, and that's it. You have a political party. So it's very easy.
Yeah, they haven't won any seats in your judiciary house, but still, they exist, and they are in the media, and people know about them. But I just wanted to share this bullet points of the suggested proposed white paper, the British government. Basically, what they want, the emphasis is on a free and open, secure internet, freedom of expression online. This is one of the key things. Online environment where companies take effective steps to keep their users safe, where criminal, terrorist, and hostile foreign states activity is not left to contaminate the online space. Rules and norms of the internet that discourage harmful behavior, and so on. So these are the main bullet points in this proposed white paper at the time. I'm hoping now that our election is over and we are leaving Europe, they can get along with this paper and actually start talking about it again, hopefully. Yeah. Sorry. So, good news. I have a friend with some legal background. I will get in touch with him to actually write the petition in a legal format. So, with clear what exactly do we want, Why do we want it? What should be done? And hopefully it will be done within the next weeks. I'm hoping. Hassan, I've got your message. Is that her speech? Hassan, is that her speech you sent me?
Yes, yes, yes.
You want me
Maybe
to
I
play
need to
it?
see Kezia not view and speech.
Yeah, as you like. As you like. She
Yeah.
actually good, pretty good.
I think what could help is that we agree with the TV channel and we appear in a discussion, in an open discussion with Muslims, so that then we have witnessed what we can say and we are allowed to say, and they object.
Ah, so you mean something like what's his face? Something talk, the German one.
Yes, the TV Jafar.
Jafar talk, yes, the one on Deutsche Welle TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be something. Let's listen a short section.
Just so that our voice reaches the.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is a good idea. We might need to start actually sending them messages.
Yeah.
As being most effective in addressing this kind of violence against women. We deal a lot with triage, so people come to us when things have already gotten to the worst. And I can tell you right now.
Yeah, it's whenever I try to play YouTube, it gets really jittery for some reason, so I can't play it at this moment. But I will add the link to the description of the video later at the end of the episode when we're done. So the options we have right now is we start a petition addressed to the UN. Now the UN needs to be involved to protect our rights, our freedom of speech rights online, at least online, because our freedom of speech offline is there in the West. So if I go to Hyde Park now and stand on a chair and say a behavior that is considered okay 1400 years ago now is considered pedophilia, and you should never preach that we should follow the example of someone died 1400 years ago, literally, that is okay. If I say exactly the same thing in Arabic in a post, I'm banned for 28 days.
Yeah.
So freedom of speech, Hyde Park, fine. Freedom of speech, YouTube, Facebook is not okay. So that's going to be the gist of the petition, that the UN need to impose these rules on these big media, social media platforms. That's option
In
one.
other words, they have to create a virtual Hyde Park where people can speak their mind.
Exactly, because this is how the West got civilized.
Yeah.
So it has to be that way. And also, it should be stressed that nothing, no religion, no politician, nothing should have a free pass. It should not have a free pass. If there is a rule, it should be applied on everyone, not just the minorities and, just give a free pass to the majority.
By the way, Facebook was intended to be the virtual Hyde Park. Now it's Snowflake Central.
Yeah.
But guess what? Reddit is the virtual Hyde Park right now. Reddit.
Tiny issue. Reddit is for kids.
No, I didn't say it's for kids. I said me as a geek, self-confessed nerd and a geek, I lost my way. I just logged in, tried to do, and I'm lost. I don't know what to do.
Okay.
How can I open a subreddit? I called my son, crying out loud. I called my 15-year-old son to teach me how to use a social media. And I taught him how to use computers. Now he's going to teach me how to use Reddit. And I said, can I open a subreddit? And he said, yes, you can. Okay, what do I do? And he said, oh, no, you don't have enough karma. Fuck, what is karma? and that's when I lost it. I said, fuck it, never mind, don't worry.
One more suggestion I had is that instead of posting such things on Facebook or YouTube, what I'm planning to do is to create a web page, a simple web page on the internet, hopefully with a Swiss provider, for example, because I'm locally in Switzerland at the moment, and post my videos if I can do even direct broadcasts, or I do the direct broadcast in YouTube and then post it there in my page and remove it from YouTube. And if I want to post it on Facebook, I just put a link to it, and there on my page, if if there is any complaint, then I have the person next to me. I can call him, I can talk to him, I can explain to him what the story is.
Someone kind of did that. It's called agnostics.com. It's a forum. Yeah. It's an online forum called agnostics.com, where all us.
Can we live stream to it?
Yeah, that's the only problem. You know, you can't. Yeah. You can post links to YouTube links to it, and then
we need to be able to live stream to it, and this would be a little more expensive. I mean, up to 24 francs I have seen per month. But I mean, this is not an issue if we have to pay it for the sake of our freedom of speech. I think
it is a temporary solution to do your own web hosting service, and you host your own website and your own live stream. Yeah. But who's going to be your audience? If the only reason why we're doing this is to talk to people and explain our point of view.
Yeah, but you can announce in Facebook. You can talk to them about it, and if you give the time, they would go to your page and see and communicate with you and watch the video and so on.
And if you have endorsement from some celebrity with few 100,000 followers like Hassan al-Badri, then people will actually know.
Just find an actor or an actress who's an atheist and try to have something.
I was thinking also the punishment should be also adjusted. Like at least send a warning without giving a complaint or a strike right away. Like even people are complaining about that on YouTube. Like they take your video down right away.
Yeah.
Like tell us where we've been wrong so we can edit the video and then re-upload it. At least don't take the whole video down. It's probably 10 seconds that I spoke maybe out of line, or 20 seconds. I can edit the video at least, and even on Facebook, like Facebook posts, like here in this line you were out of line. Please remove that line. So you can re-edit your post at least. Yeah, they give you time at least, like 12 hours or something. But even at least long warnings, they take it right away down.
You were lucky actually. I was talking to people and I just took a song from the internet or a piece of music. I don't remember what it was, something musical, and I showed just part of it. And because it had a copyright, which I was not aware of, the whole channel was banned. I couldn't post it. I couldn't live stream to the channel anymore for 3 months. And so I just canceled the channel and created a new one.
That's a copyright strike, yeah.
So damn it, just remove this particular video, all of it. Okay, fine.
I made a video on Adnan Ibrahim, a video, and just like for a split second, I shared the screen. Let's say for a split second.
Yeah, you want to talk about it.
And again, it came to me a copyright strike from Rotana channel. And I re-appealed it, and then again, as Wissam said, Rotana contacted me and they said, yeah, you have to give us your address, your whereabouts. The only thing they didn't ask for is my bank information, actually. Only that was short of. They asked for everything, like your address, your age, where you live, and what do you do for work, and everything. And then we can like accept your appeal decision.
Your underwear.
No, take it.
You have to prove that you're not making any money out of it. Funny story. I was taking a photograph. One day I took a day off work and went to London a few years back. There was a nice art installment around the Tower of London. So I took a few photos, went around the back. I was taking a photo of the London Bridge, the famous London Bridge. Obviously, it's not called London Bridge, it's called the Tower Bridge. And then this guy called the Beef Eater. Beef Eaters are the royal guards of the Tower of London. They wear a very funny costume. They're called Beef Eaters. And a Beef Eater came into me, and because he saw the big camera and big tripod, all looked professional. And he said, "Who do you work for?" And I said, "I don't work. It's me. Hi." He said, "No. Who do you represent? Someone?" He said, "Yeah, I represent me. What do you need?" I know exactly what he wants because I'm taking a photo of a public monument. So that might be copyrighted and all that kind of bullshit. I had a copy in my backpack of a letter from the Chief Constabulary Officer in England addressed to all police forces telling them that if someone taking a photo of a public place in a public place, you cannot talk to them, you cannot object, you cannot do anything. So I was just waiting for him to officially tell me off and say, "You cannot take a photo here." To take the photo out of my back pocket, ta-da! You can fuck off. Anyway, so I kept saying, "What do you want? Who do you work for?" "I work for me." "What do you want?" And he said, "You cannot be here." I said, "Here's the thing, mate. That's a public monument. I'm on public ground. What do you want?" And he said, "Actually, this is not a public ground. You are actually standing." It was an alleyway just behind the Tower of London, on the shoreline of the River Thames.
You were standing on his shadow, maybe?
I don't know. And he said, "No, actually, right here, this is part of the Tower of London. This exact spot is owned by Her Majesty the Queen. And to take a photograph here, you need to sign permission."
You gotta love the British. You gotta love it.
He's the kicker. He's the kicker. I said, "Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. This is not public ground. I'm terribly sorry. Where does the public ground start? If this is..." And he said, "Just after that tree." And that was about 5 feet away. So I picked up the tripod and said this. Put it there. "Happy, mate?" "Yes." "Okay." And I kept taking the photos.
Most ridiculous copyright claim. It was a claim, not a strike. Thank goodness. That I sang. I sang a cappella without music. I just sang a song. It was an old Arabic song. I don't even remember. I think it was Kulthum or something. And I get copyright claim for it. Also from Rotana channel. I mean, come on.
You may only sing it in the bathroom, Hassan.
Apparently, you're under the radar. So they're focusing on you, definitely.
That's unbelievable. Even singing Kulthum. Copyright.
No, they consider him competing with Kulthum without permission. So, of course.
Yeah. Tarnishing the image of Kulthum with his beard. The late Kulthum didn't have a beard. So, yeah, you cannot do that. What's wrong with these people? Okay, so to recap.
Yeah, so just wanted to say the problem that with these Muslims can say everything and can I mean insult can provoke, and even in their prayer every day you hear their verses that insulting the others, but that's okay. And do we see anybody talking about those or reporting any of those? Ex-Muslims do not report. The ones that report are the Muslims on the other side, the majority reporting on the minority. I want to say, I'm going to talk about an experience that I had with my own son when he was in high school. When he was in high school, I wasn't an ex-Muslim then, I was a Muslim then. One of his teachers, I'm not sure which subject it was, he was actually asking them to go on the net and find out about the ex-Muslims who are discriminating against Muslims, and bring the names, and we will tell you what to do. Like they have a vanguard actually of faith. These people are taught to go and report on these on Muslim on non-Muslims or whoever says anything about Muslim. So it's an institution. It's honestly an institution. It
Yeah,
cannot be.
there are groups with thousands actually.
Exactly. And they knowing each other or don't know each other, but they belong to institutions. It's in their schools.
Yeah.
And my son came to me and he told me that the teacher told him that. And I said, you and I was a Muslim then. I said, no, don't do that. And he said it because he was skeptical whether he should do that or not. So my son came and talked to me, but a lot of those students, I mean, 15, 16-year-old in Muslim countries, they don't go and ask. They just do whatever their teachers tells them to do.
We had one of our colleagues in adminning the Atheism Without Borders groups and pages. Until last year, he was a great help. He wasn't active in managing the groups, but what he was active in, his profile was clean in terms of it doesn't show that he's an ex-Muslim. So he used to go to these groups, and we used to nickname him 007. He was our double agent. He would go there and give us a heads up, especially on a Thursday night. And he said, okay, I found a post there, and he will bring screenshots of the post with the names of me and a couple of my colleagues in the admin team and the name of our group. And they would say, okay, today we have, what did they call it? Saule? Yeah, something like that. So they're going on a nightly jihad on a Thursday night, Friday morning. And they would mass report my account and my colleague, just because she was a woman. She was really nice to everybody, but they would report her, and they would report me because I was the most vocal, and the whole group every Thursday and Friday. And he would give us a heads up. And what we used to do is just archive the group for 6 hours and then unarchive it, just to get away from it. Now he's gone. Since he's gone, he got busy in life and he stopped doing that. Our group got shut down like 4 times, but lucky me, we know people inside the Facebook group support team, so all they can do is they give us back the group after a couple of months maybe, but that's all the help they can give us. But we don't know them enough that they can help us actually influence these big policies. They're just UK based. All they do is groups. That's it. No pages, no personal accounts. They don't give us any help when it comes to that part. So again, to recap, I will ask my solicitor, my friend with the legal background, to draft the petition. So hopefully we can get that running. And talk to your representative. The more of us do it, and then it will be in the government's background, on their radar. Sorry. But again, if you are British, please talk to your MP. If I even sent emails to my MEPs, my members of European Parliament, the ones that I've elected, and I've sent them emails. The bastards, they didn't reply. Why did I elect you, you bastards, then? So, my friends in Europe, you must have your local MP, your MEP, do the same. If they hear more of us, then they will start acting like it. So that's that. And what was the third one we said? There was a third option. The petition will take us to the UN. That should.
Well,
so
I was suggesting that we agree with a broadcasting station like the German
Deutsche Welle.
With Jafar, we'll create a meeting, a discussion between atheists and Muslims publicly.
Mm-hmm.
And we hit two birds with one stone. One of them is that we show what and how we talk, what we talk about and how we talk, and what Muslims accept and don't accept, what they consider an insult and what they don't publicly. And then we can let our voice reach higher, like UN or
Okay.
whatever.
Would you be kind enough in drafting a letter to an email to the Jafar team so we can all send it to them, or with some variations of it?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Maybe contact some NGOs because they have direct contact with the state. They get state funding, so maybe they can push forward also.
Yeah, I could.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea.
I know a couple here, so I'm gonna contact them. It's better.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you. Suha, if you're listening, if you're still with us, Suha, I think she knows someone from the British Council of ex-Muslims, atheist. It's an NGO here in the UK.
Ex-Muslim Voice, maybe.
No, it's the British Council of something.
Okay.
Maybe ex-Muslims. I've seen their website a couple of times. And Suha has been in touch with one or some, I don't know, and hope and definitely we can get in touch with larger atheist groups like Atheist Republic. We have contact with their teams. Amin Navabi, he usually answers his emails. He might start going into that direction because most of his Amin Navabi, I mean, most of what he do is public talks and all that about protecting the ex-Muslims and ex-theists in general. But I don't think he had ever covered this area, specifically protecting ex-theists online from the prejudice of the social media platform itself. And this is what we are specifically talking about, protecting our freedom of speech online and not create this ginormous snowflake republic where nobody can be offended.
Have you seen,
talking about offense, has any of you seen the opening monologue of Ricky Gervais on the Golden Globes? You have to. 7.5 minutes of pure gold. Pure gold. He managed to piss off everybody.
He's an awesome atheist.
Who exactly again?
Ricky Gervais.
He's a British comedian, stand-up comedian,
Yeah, he his one of the last thing he said he was addressing those people who will accept the awards. Come on the podium, take your award, thank your agent, thank your God, and then fuck off. But the way he did it, 7.5 minutes, pure gold. Guess how many people he offended? What was it? 2 weeks ago, Golden Globes? Less than 2 weeks ago.
They loved him. Everybody loved him.
Have you checked his Twitter feed? Have you checked the army of snowflakes attacking him?
Well, you always find the other side. So, who cares?
By the way, mostly are kids also. I bet they are.
Yeah, but mostly I heard good things. They were happy. I'm talking about the participants. And
the audience,
they loved it.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. But afterwards, after it's all gone, the dust settled, and then the snowflakes started. Oh, how dare you criticize Hollywood? Because we're lefties, we can take it on the chin?
I have a concern. I have a little concern that if you want to claim anything or complain about something, you have to give evidence. And our evidence is in Arabic. So the language barrier, if I talk to any political party here or any organization or whatever, and I claim that there are things that are happening like this, they would say, okay, show us. So I will have to make screenshots in Arabic from Facebook and give it to them, and they will have to ask somebody who speaks Arabic if this is a valid claim I'm making. And if by chance this this Arabic person or translator happens to be a Muslim, then I'm screwed up.
Exactly. I always say, if you want to know your information, you go to the opposite side. Do not take it from your information from the side that they claim. Go to the opposite side, to the other side, to be able to judge.
Yeah.
So if if you need to know what's the content of the atheist, Arab atheist, then bring an atheist to talk about them, not a Muslim to talk about them.
Yeah, but you need
The
to
Muslim, because the Muslims will only zoom into whatever is or just bring the good of their speech, and whatever is bad about the other speech. So it works the other way. So if you want an atheist, bring an atheist to judge, and if there is a Muslim speech, bring a Muslim to speech about that. To judge that speech.
But it's a matter of luck. If you take evidence and you give it to anybody responsible in Europe, they will have to consult somebody who speaks Arabic, somebody that they choose. They will not tell you whom do you recommend. They will bring somebody
at least have more than one person from both sides.
Yeah. It's not so easy.
Because it's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair if you bring somebody judging the atheist from the Muslim side.
Yeah, but if this is the only person they have that speaks Arabic, they have to ask him. And
I'm sure that I'm sure there are a lot of.
They could even say that if this person happened to be an atheist, he would agree with you, even if it's not true. So it's not so easy. That's why I say, if you are in a media, if you are in a TV channel, it doesn't have to be this channel, by the way. It could be I could contact one of the Swiss channels. They would probably be happy to organize something like this, because this channel we are talking about with Ja'far, they cannot spare more than half an hour for us. It would be a short discussion and it will be quick and doesn't do the job. But in a Swiss channel or German channel, any other German channel, a regular state channel, they could dedicate, they could make a big discussion about it, a program dedicated for this, and they just bring even online with the screens, and the people who are there, they can come themselves to the studio and just let Muslims and atheists talk, discuss, to show an example. What do we talk about? What do we say usually? And how much do Muslims accept from us?
All we need to do, actually, is based on this definition. It's Facebook's definition, not my definition. This is Facebook's definition of hate speech. This is what Facebook policy says. There it is. And open posts in Arabic from prominent Muslim activists on Facebook, people that has tens of thousands of followers. So here's a post, one of which, by the way, that guy, what's his face? The cute new Muslim bodybuilder, he shows his chest all the time, from Al-Azhar. He was on Ja'far Talk once. You know who I mean? Yeah, that's Abdullah Rushdie. That's the one. So one of the definitions of hate speech: mocking the concept, event, or victims of hate crimes, even if no real person is depicted in an image. That is hate crime. What did he say about that rape incident in Egypt a couple of weeks ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
but he said it in Arabic.
Still, that's Facebook's terms and conditions. Yeah. That means it's Facebook's responsibility to go and audit their own staff, because they are not following their own terms and conditions. It's not my problem. So if I go through a whole list of all those famous people, Facebook celebrities, Islamic Facebook celebrities, and take any post in random and apply this criteria, they will fail, every single one of them. Every single one of them.
I find that second one is really weird, like black people on farm equipment. That's considered.
What? Hold on. What?
Yeah,
Black
if you
people
accuse
armed
somebody,
equipment?
if you call
Really?
somebody, well,
Oh no, because
there are terms, there
it's a
are terms in
comparison.
certain communities that have insults
If you have
meaning.
if you
Because
have a
of slavery,
comparison,
but come on.
because
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
because of slavery, they used to work in farms. So if you convert
Yeah.
them, if you compare them to a farm equipment, then
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
going back to slavery. Then that's hate speech. It's the comparison bit. So if you
Ah,
give,
They
if you
have just
compare
taken
them,
common examples from
Mm.
from that
So
culture.
if you compare someone with something, as an example, black people with apes, black people with equipment, Jews with rats, Muslims with
Well,
pigs.
you know what?
Funny example: Muslims compare Jews with pigs. Ha ha!
Muslim people and pigs. Yeah.
And well, not Muslims. Let's be. Hold on. Muslims do
How
not do
funny.
that.
How funny.
No, Muslims do not do that. Quran does.
Yeah. The
Tada!
Quran
Surah
does.
Al-Ma'idah 560. There you are. لعنة من الله وغضب عليهم وجعل منهم قردة وخنازير. That's not me talking. I'm terribly sorry, guys. This is Allah Almighty.
Actually, we can accuse them of insulting the Jews in the Quran. You know what? Let's take a copy of the Quran with translation. There are Qurans that have Arabic and English translation, and we highlight all the insults that are in the Quran and post it with a letter to the United Nations.
Here.
These are in the Quran. This is something holy for all the Muslims, and this is what they believe
we don't
in.
even have to go to all the Quran. We can just
just
the opening verse. I'm reading it now to you. The way of those whom you have bestowed your grace, not the way of those who earned anger, such as the Jews, or those who went astray, such as Christians.
Yeah.
They read this. How many times it's read in their prayer every day?
Yeah.
So, hold on. Are you referring to Walavalin?
Yeah.
The ones that went astray.
المغضوب عليهم هم اليهود.
المغضوب عليهم are the Jews and والضالين are the Christians.
The Christians.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, here's the thing. In Arabic, it doesn't say that. In English, it's even better. Yes, because more English-speaking Muslims than Arabic-speaking.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it that way. That's brilliant.
we simply expose the problem. We say these are things that are in the Quran, and we want to criticize them, and we are not allowed to criticize the Quran. What can we do? I mean,
when I spoke to my MP, all I said was those young, impressionable people. There's a good chance that they will be listening to the extremists.
Yeah.
What we do in our YouTube channel, in our Facebook groups, Twitter feed, all these things is we talk to them and expose the extremists.
Yeah.
That's it. So that will stop them going extreme. So exactly. I'm doing the government and the whole West a favor, trying to stop creating or reduce the ability to create extremists.
Raising awareness.
How do Facebook reward me? Shut down my group. Yeah. Just because I said, no, that's wrong. You cannot do it that way. But guess what? The actual English translation makes it worse than what it is in Arabic.
Yeah.
you might have as well just kept it in Arabic.
You have to go to Al-Jalalain to know, you know, what's the meaning of that. The ones who went astray and the ones
tafsir, the tafsir.
bestowed wrath. Yeah, exactly.
Anyhow, so next time we do this broadcast, we have to do it in Egyptian accent from Said, to be specific. That was one of the requests in the comments. Speaking of accents and dialects, for some reason it missed me. I haven't seen it before. Dr. George Paul, our YouTuber friend.
Yeah.
He has a series of episodes. All he does, he reads the shorter surahs from the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
and he
translate them?
calls. No, he just reads them, and he calls it صيد الدرر في قصار السور, something like that. All he does, he reads it, and he reads it again in Egyptian. So as a layman, that's what it is. A pure layman person, and he reads it. That's what it means. And then he reads it in English, and then he reads the tafsir. But initially, he will just read it and then read it in Egyptian. I've done. Listen, cardio is getting your heart pumping. I laughed so hard this morning for 2 hours. I think I've done enough cardio for a week, just laughing. It's hilarious, and this is it. This is my New Year. This is my decision for the New Year. I will watch 2 hours of this series at least every week because this is my cardio. It's fucking brilliant.
I think Kafir Maghribi did the same with the Morocco dialect, something similar.
Yeah, and also Fadi, and there was this Mimo, I think, or some other person. They also read those read Quran, and they translated it in Egyptian language. I think the problem with the way the Quran is written, and all Muslims and ex-Muslims, when we hear the Quran, it's in a tone that we really don't think about the meanings. You just take it in as emotional. And when you translate it in your own dialect, I mean, even if you do it in Iraqi, it's gonna be funny. If I do
you feel how ridiculous
it's gonna be. Exactly. Then we know how. I mean, it's silly. You will feel it. It's silly and it's funny too. So this is a very actually very brilliant way of criticism. And it should be allowed. We're just reading it in a different slang. You're not adding anything. You're just reading what it is. So people that you deal with everyday life, they can understand it too.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. All he said, all these short surahs, he started reading it. The first verse says, "And I swear by the stars and that specific star, which is piercing light." Okay, so you must have something important to tell me. You started swearing by the stars. And by the way, do you know what that star is? No, I don't. Okay, get ready. There it is. So I swear by that star with the piercing light, and it has a piercing light. Okay, what do you want? And then he will start to finish the surah, and then halfway through it, he will jump to something else, and then, whoa, hold on, we started with that star, and then you told me something important. Why did you change the subject? Only 3 sentences. That's it. So we start with 3 sentences, and then you change the subject. What would you do in a longer surah? And that's what they did. And for 2 hours, I was laughing my ass off. That's it.
It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
This is my New Year resolution. I have to watch more of these. So I'll try Kafir Maghribi and Mimo, Fadi and Mimo, Fadi and George Paul, and I'll try to find someone doing it. And if I run out,
by the way, there Fadi is going back to those episodes again. He's gonna do it again. I'm not sure if it's with Mumo. Mumo, that was his name. Yeah. I'm not sure if he's going to do it with the same person or a different, but
they've done 7 episodes. They've done 7 episodes. I think the 7th was recent. And after we run out of all of them, I'll probably do a series in Iraqi or maybe in English.
Yeah, if you, for instance, and Hassan, I think that will be hilarious. Really, if you two take up, the Iraqi slang.
It simply makes them realize how ridiculous it is and how unreasonable it is. It makes them realize, as you said, when you read it in classical Arabic, and most Arabs are not so good in classical Arabic, and with the Quranic style of reading things, with a lot of respect and
It's the same concept. It's the same concept when the Bible was, written in the
Aramic.
no, not the Arami, but the
Greek.
what's that? What's that, Hassan?
Greek.
No, not Greek. Latin. When it was written in Latin and it was read in Latin, in Europe, the minute it was translated to English, which was the first, I forgot who translated it, but was the first translation was
King James.
King James, yeah. When there was a big, a lot of Christians got civilized. Actually, they got to know what it actually means, and
Exactly.
a lot for later generation. So it's the same thing. It's the same concept.
Yeah, absolutely.
Classic Arabic, and then you have it in your own language, which makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, gosh, time runs fast.
Okay, guys.
I've enjoyed this. It was really funny. So, and again, in conclusion, and let's wrap it up. Petition, talk to your MP or your representative. We'll start drafting letters and sending them to Jafar Talk so we can raise the profile of the issue. Between now and then, New Year resolution, listen to Quran in your own dialect. And maybe me and Hassan will start doing a series in Iraqi. We'll just
and don't forget don't forget the NGO too.
The NGO, yes, I've already assigned an action to my friend Soha.
Yes, I'm a member of Secular Coalition of Arizona. I will also talk to them and see what they can do to help us.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Fikri. Thank you, Hassan. You've been great. Thank you to to the audience, to the commenters, to the listeners, to those who reposted. Have a great night, and we'll see you in another episode. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.